All right, now read verse 26.
Verse 26. The first of the first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring unto the house of the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seethe a kid in his mother's milk.
So now it goes into thou shalt not see the kid in his mother's milk. What does that have to do with anything?
Thou shalt not seethe a kid. A fanciful exegesis connects the 4 precepts of Exodus 23, 18 through 19 with the 3 feasts, the 2 of Exodus 23, 18 with the Paschal feast.
Meaning the Passover. Come on.
That concerning first fruits in Exodus 23, 19 with the feast of ingathering.
Which is tabernacles. Come on.
And this concerning kids with the Feast of Tabernacles.
Come on.
To support this theory, it is suggested that the command has reference to a superstitious practice customary at the close of the harvest. A kid being then boiled in its mother's milk with magic rites.
With what?
Magic rites.
Read.
And the milk used to sprinkle plantations, fields, and gardens in order to render them more productive the next year.
There you go. Go to the next picture. So the reason why the Lord told us not to do this is because we learned idolatry. Okay, we learned idolatry with the other nations. All right, such as sprinkling baby's milk on agriculture, on crops, as if that was going to make them more fruitful.
The hell is this?
All right, read that. These are things that we learned with the Egyptians, with all the nations that we read about that he casted out. The Canaanites, the Hittites, Perizzites, Hivites. They all worshipped these deities. Read.
Exodus 23, 19. Thou shalt not see the kid in his mother's milk. It is remarkable that this command, extraordinary as it is repeated. Exodus 34, 26 and Deuteronomy 14, 21.
Right, because remember, Deuteronomy means reiteration of the law. Come on.
And that, as here, in connection with the offering of the first fruits, hence it has been conjectured that it has a reference to the payment of these fruits and to some superstitious practices which the pagans used on these occasions, who were wont, it seems, when they had gathered in all the fruits of the earth, to boil a kid in its mother's milk.
And to do what?
And to sprinkle the trees and fields and gardens with the broth in a magical manner.
Come on.
To make them more fruitful the following year.
There you go. Go to the next one.
This?
So as you can see, this all goes back to Hamite, pagan, Babylonian tradition. Idolatry. All right?
In which a kid was seethed in its mother's milk to propitiate in some way the deities, and the milk was sprinkled on the fruit trees, fields, and gardens as a charm.
As a what?
As a charm.
As a what?
As a charm.
Don't the Lord tell us not to dabble with charms and charmers and witchcraft and enchanters, and that's what we were doing. And as a charm, read.
To improve the crops of the coming year. Others take it to be a prohibition of a custom of great antiquity among the Arabs.
You see that? Well, here we go. The other nations. This has nothing to do with us. All right? Come on.
Of preparing a gross sort of food by stewing a kid in milk with the addition of certain ingredients of a stimulating nature.
Come on.
And others take it in connection with the prohibitions to slaughter a cow and a calf, or a ewe and her lamb on the same day. Leviticus 22, 28. Or to take a bird along with her young in the nest. Deuteronomy 22 and 6. It is thus understood as a protest against cruelty and outraging the order of nature.
There you go. Just wanted to show y'all the seething a kid in his mother's milk was an idolatry. It was idolatry practice. All right, that we learned from the other nations. It wasn't only Ham; it was also Ishmael. All right, and when we read about Ishtar, Ishtar was the name that the East Indians gave, which is known as Elam in the Bible.
Right.
The East Indians gave Easter. Okay. Also, Esther.
Right.
Right. Our foremother in the Bible. Right. Which her true name was Hadassah. But who changed her name to Esther or Easter? It was the king. Why? Because he was a Persian and Mede. He was like, you're not going to have a Hebrew name around me. we're going to give you a heathen name. Same thing happened with Daniel
Bring it
and the
out.
3 holy children. Same thing where they were given slave names.